7:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. We have a lot to talk about this evening. We have some stuff with FTX that I'm pretty sure I kept up here just so we could talk about, so that we can talk about here tonight. I brought it up a little bit in the update earlier, but those updates, they do what they do. Most people like the technical analysis. So please, make sure you hit the like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. And it will help reach more people here on YouTube. And also, if you want to have this community grow, I don't have any kind of marketing budget because I don't do paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. And it would be a great way to get the word out. So I greatly appreciate everybody. I need to go get my other hat. It got a lot hotter while I had this hat on, so felt a little chillier. So yeah, no, I get shadow banned. So if you want to help me out, I tell everybody this all the time. I think I'm crying wolf, but I'm really not. My stuff gets shadow banned all the time. So I'll be back in less than 20 seconds. All right, that's better. Sorry about that. It was getting too hot with that on. So, welcome in everybody. John, good evening. Harvey, Michael, Chat, Jason, Mark Caston, good evening. Tirana, John Patak, Shifta, Tanya, welcome in, love. So happy to see you here tonight. Crypto Bob, good evening. So, the biggest way to start out with this, so yeah, XRP looking very bearish. Okay, we know what's going on with XRP. We also know the setup we have. We also know our appropriate plan that we have in place. So before I get into the real point of what I want to make here, yeah, you might sense a more direct tone, but it's only because I want to get to where we're going tonight and I want to make a point. John, welcome in. Morning all. What have I missed? Nothing yet. So we have the death cross. Good evening, Cezam. You haven't been here the last few days. You've missed a lot. The death cross with XRP, that, in my opinion, along with the FTX stuff, as we know, and it's confirmed now with FTX, XRP's part of this. Only 120, it's 121 million approximately. Where's that? 119 million XRP can be sold off by FTX, but we have 53 billion tokens. That's not going to make a big difference. Yeah, it's going to be sold off in spurts, but it's not like Solana, which is over $1 billion. But again, they're being strategically sold off in sets with Solana, so it's not like it's all going to happen at once. But it is going to cause some liquidity into the market. And they got the okay from the judge today to release 3.2 billion back in for a sell off. So, that is what it is. With XRP, the death cross, in my opinion, nothing to be afraid of. We have a confirmation here. We don't have to be afraid of it. And again, we can't argue what's going on here, because one of the things we'll get to, the first thing tonight, because I see it over and over in the comments, I don't make predictions anymore. In fact, I stopped doing that after I predicted the market reversal in 2021. Because I took a lot of backlash, and I said once it goes sub 40 cents, I will never make another prediction again. And then I said when it hits sub 30, I'm done. Because I said I wasn't going to buy back in until sub 30 when it was going through the rotation, which we didn't. We just had a quick swing trade opportunity, and then it settled down again for several months, almost a half a year. So I don't make predictions. So for anybody who says, hey, you say it's going to go up or down, precisely, that's the only two ways it can go besides sideways. Just like there's only two things we're guaranteed, the light and the dark. Being alive or dead, that's the way it goes. Sometimes it can only go up, it can only go down. So absolutely phenomenal observation by all of you. Secondly, with XRP, what have we talked about for eons? The main run doesn't start until 2028. So anybody can take that any kind of way, but I'm going to continue to present the facts. Everybody else can present it as FUD. I don't really care. I don't. Everybody else can show you something on social media where it gets you all excited, where it gets the dopamine going, and we go to 25,000. That's completely awesome. I'm not going to do it. You know why? Because I speak reality. The easiest way to say it is I speak reality. And I'd rather lead you in a way of knowledge than in a way that is going to make you punch yourself in the face down the road or can completely liquidate your entire finances. So, when I say it can take possibly until 2028, it's because it can take until possibly 2028. I'm taking the patterns, so if it's the 2020 uptrend, and we'll see how many people are in here tonight. We have 57 people watching. Your one job here tonight is to hit that like button. If you have any respect for me, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. If you respect what I do, if you appreciate my time, hit that like button. If you want to show and set a good example forward to do your part, hit the like button and share this. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you don't want to show any support outside of that, if you don't want to join Tom's army, if you don't want to send a YouTube super chat, completely understandable. But what is not understandable is if you don't hit the like button, which is free. If you don't, simply just share this for me, because I'm not making you sit through paid advertisements, paid promotions, and paid sponsorships. Save it, because anybody else you tell me besides Gregory Manarino does it. Your favorite crypto YouTuber, I don't care. So that's the second part. You don't need to compare me with anybody else. I stand on my own 2 feet. And if you're here to see me, not what somebody else is saying, not what somebody else believes. You want to hear my opinion. So as such, I'm going to give it to you in a very professional manner. I expect you to be professional in the audience. And what that means is I don't want politics. I don't want anything other than what we're doing today, what we're trying to achieve tomorrow. I don't care about what happened to you yesterday. I care about what you're going to do today to prevent it from happening again tomorrow. And if you have something to tell me in the way of, I know something about the charts, I know what's going to happen tomorrow, or I want you to respect me, do not come in here and just say, I sold XRP and it's gone down such and such, so now this is a better reason for you to understand what I'm saying. In fact, when I read that, I just don't read the rest of what somebody else says now. And that's just me being as truthful as I can. If you start out with, I sold XRP, so this is what I think is going to happen, congratulations. But there's a lot more that goes into just selling it. You have not talked about the 35% tax implication. You have not talked about the factor and accumulation phase. You have not talked about the fact of where you bought and sold. We have no idea what your plan is for the future. Are you just a swing trader? So it's irrelevant. So instead, come in here and give some factual information. Because honestly, I put in a lot of my time, a lot of it. More than anybody else you can bring up. Because if there's one thing, if I'm not the most popular, I won't be outworked. So I'm here every single day for each and every one of you, because this is how I do my thing. So that is one thing that's not debatable. So just so we can stay on the same page, this fact, or the fact remains, is that if we're just going through the 2020 uptrend, this can maintain, and this is the full pattern. This is the apex moment. The apex moment is not me, not my personal bias, not my personal emotion. Certainly this chart should not make any of you emotional. It shouldn't make you call me an asshole or a piece of shit or tell you that you're going to unsubscribe or you hate XRP. Because that's 65% of the battles. Those are the comments I get. So this should make you understand that it's a long drawn out process and it's an accumulation phase for a reason. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not here to try to trick you, and I'm not here to try to trick you into buying something you want. In fact, I'm not a financial advisor. So as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to buy anything. That's how easy it is for me. What's hard for me is to try to make sure everybody buys in the right spot if they want to buy. What's hard for me is to make sure you understand the day-to-day pattern formations that move out into the dailies, into the weekly, into the monthly, into the yearly, into the decades. As I show you each and every day, we do the daily, we do the hourly. But now look, today, because you actually took the time to come watch the live, you're lucky. You know why? Because you're going to be enlightened. This is the all-time pattern. Some people will leave because of the way I'm talking. Some people want to pay attention. Some people don't want to admit to themselves that this is the possibility or probability of what's coming with the economic environment. Trading with J. Wright, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Believe it or not, I went 2.5 days, 6 streams. Yesterday I did a bunch of streams, got 1 donation. Yeah, so like when people are like, you do it for the money, I can assure you That's another thing we'll discuss. If I was doing this for the money, you'd be watching paid advertisements, paid promotions, and paid sponsorships out the wazoo. Just like every other person you guys always comment in my chat. I'm sure none of you who bring up these great, fine specimens of human beings, I'm sure none of you bring me up in their chat. So ask yourself a question. Why are you bringing in their FUD into my chat instead of spreading the truth of my own into theirs? So moving on. Tom, I watch several guys on YouTube, and from my eyes, you're the most truthful. No FUD, you keep it real. That's what I do. And you know, a lot of people don't like me, but that's okay. So, and I'm actually surprised we have 65 people in here tonight. I really thought tonight with the markets, we would have a little bit, I guess 65 isn't 150, but we've only been on for 10 minutes. So I greatly appreciate it. I really do. KLC, I'm holding, finally able to get in, missed these lives. I missed having you in here as well, Terry. I miss you as well. You know, I apologize that the last few days, YouTube, actually the last 2 weeks, and a lot of you have commented it, which I really appreciate. I've been talking about the fact that you can't even see my content, and sometimes it'll have the loading screen. That is not me doing it, I promise. That is YouTube, so that is a battle of its own. So, Jose, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. I greatly appreciate that, more than you know. Good evening, Jacob. Welcome in. Savage, it makes no sense to sell at 90 when you bought it at 30 cents. They have to pay. It doesn't, but the other reason why it doesn't make sense is it's compounding. Jontro, welcome to Tom's Army, and that's a over 1 year badge, so thank you so much for re-upping. That is incredible. That is incredible. Crypto Solo Scrooge, welcome in. I appreciate you. Make sure you watch Crypto Solo Scrooge if you watch Sologenic. I appreciate you for tuning in always. Art, it's Gary. Tiny H-bar is having a tiny little run. We'll talk about H-bar in a minute. But yes, a lot of things are going to have a tiny little run. XRP is showing us that our next candle is probably going to be a tiny little run. Possibly. Unless we do get rejected by this formation and we don't have the push up to around 51 cents, we should have little runs across the market. But I believe these are big traps. I have a 38-cent average because I appreciate that, Jose. Appreciate that. Janae, depends on your investment objective. If you want to day trade, have at it. Exactly. I was up 50K. I should have sold, bought back, could have doubled my XRP. And you had every opportunity to do it. So again, are you telling me that because you're trying to put blame on me or because you're trying to put it out there so next time you make a different decision? I'm not, when people say that, I'm not exactly sure. I can only tell you why I do what I did. So you absolutely could have did that, and it would have been your prerogative. How about that? Darren White, thank you so much for re-upping to 21 months. I greatly appreciate that. He has that very long badge as well on there. Only 3 months away from his 2-year badge, which is the longest badge on file. Thank you all so much for the support. So, but see, this is what I was saying. This is the change in attitude. I mean, I'm going to respond real now, and I'm going to ask for your honest opinion. So please enlighten me. So with XRP, that's the other thing. If we sold out, or if we're selling, I logically speaking, I should have sold and bought back in. The whales do it all the time. Incorrect. They don't do it all the time. They honestly don't. See, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. Then next time, do it. But it has no relevance to the live right now, to be honest with you. No offense. But I'm trying to keep the topic away from the victim mindset and to action. So, Christopher, thank you so much for the $10 donation. It's called, why did the price drop? Are you kidding me? Do you want the truth? Look at the pattern. Have you asked me the questions. So if you're a 200,000 XRP, if you're a whale, why didn't you sell? Look at the top 90% of holdings of XRP and tell me they sold. Do it with a straight face. I dare you. Come on, pull up any of the 10%, top 90%, or the top 10% wallets and show me where they're selling. But anyhow, getting back on point because it's irrelevant. Some sell. That's what they do. But if you're actually paying attention, the majority of the whales continue to stack up because this is the accumulation phase. Anything about crypto, and this gets into my next point. When you're doing an accumulation phase, and I'm glad you brought all this up, Janae, because this is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about in the comments. You should have done something. Well, it's called a call to action. Only you can make the call to action. You're not paying me for that information, remember. You're not paying me for anything, in fact. This is all free content. And it's going to always be that way. So if you're expecting me to tell you to sell, I can't do that. The accumulation phase. Yeah, but do you understand what you're saying right now? Yes, you accumulate to make money. But the whales who are actually accumulating in a bear market, they will not sell out in a bear market. I repeat, they do not sell out in bear markets. And if they do, it's to settle the tax differential. So they're just as likely to sell out for a $2 million loss as they are for a $2 million gain, unless it fits the agenda. Don't get it twisted. If the whales are whales, that means they're within the top 1%. So that means they do their taxes different. If you have an understanding of finances and the way the tax code works, you wouldn't even be disagreeing with me. So again, let me get back to my point because that's the last I'm going to talk about that. If you're holding XRP and these price drops are scaring you, just look at the pattern rotation. The price dropped because it was meant to drop. The price dropped because we haven't hit the apex moment. Unless something drastic happens that changes it, like a complete lawsuit dismissal, like I said from the beginning, I would have rather retail still been ruled a security and institutional investments, or the institutions, to be cleared 100%, because that's where the real money is. The whales have not even attempted to come in, the ones that are trying to come in. That's where everybody's getting it twisted, to be honest with you. Jose, it's your birthday right now. Price drop because of the consolidation which is needed to proceed into and continue into a Polish pattern. Whales. Thank you, Jacob. Everybody in the market to make money. Why hold when you can sell and make profit and buy back? We all could tripled our investment. No, I mean, you could say that, but you wouldn't have. And it's just as simple as this. And if you don't respect me enough to listen to what I say and you're going to continue to talk like that, that's freaking fantastic. But the reason I don't do it, and I can only speak for myself, is I'm not going to pay compounding interest. So you'd have an understand. You must not be a big enough whale if you don't understand the tax code. So if you're a big enough whale as you speak, or if you're just trying to interrupt us, which is pretty rude at that, I didn't triple my investment. Again, what did I triple? I didn't buy at 30. I bought at 34.6, and I wasn't selling at 90. You know as well as I do, Uphold was down. The best you could have did was 85 cents. So first of all, let's not fud it up with false numbers. Second of all, if we get up to 85 cents, sure, I make some money, but then I got to sell for 35% capital gains tax, which is just ridiculous in itself. Why would you pay them an extra 20% in an accumulation phase? Secondly, where are you going to buy back in? So you say you're going to buy it where? You buy it where? 38 cents? Great. So now you saved what? 55%? Congratulations. Now you have a 20% differential between the tax break. So now you bought back 50, and this is what I always talk about, and remember this. I'm trying to explain it to you. So with XRP, sure, maybe you're making a few extra XRP, but you're selling it, and now you got to buy back 50%. Because you're saying you're trying to buy a 50% savings to buy back, or in this case, so you have to buy it back. Let's just say you use 50% of your funds. Now you've got to pay 35% of that 100% tax bill, ready? For 50% of what's left over, which means you have to pay 100% tax bill with 50% of funds. And if 35% was on 100%, that means you've now got to take 70% of your additional money left over and pay it in taxes. If you don't, the tax man's going to come knocking on the door. The next time you sell it again, because you're a genius, remember, you've got to do this over and over and over again. So if you're going to tell me that businesses in Wales are doing it, you're absolutely incorrect. I've been in this game a long time, and that's why I don't work a 9 to 5. That's why my house is going to be paid off by the end of the year. That's a fact. Remember, I just moved into my house last year, and I'm not living in a paper box. So, sure, your false perception of the reality is one thing, but the facts are still the facts. You can spin it however you want to make yourself feel good, but that's not actually what's happening right now. This is the accumulation phase, period. You want to know the hard truth right now? You obviously, do you want to know who's selling? It's called the manipulation factor. You've got FTX selling. They still have 121 million or 119 million more of XRP they have to sell. You don't think any of these major exchanges that are being investigated had to dump some of their holdings to pay their bills? I mean, that's just absurd. So, I mean, that's the part that you need to better educate yourself on before you bring that in here. Because I can keep shutting you down, but I find it rude and I don't like talking like this. So, I mean, if you haven't got the point yet, you're just here to make it to where we're not going to continue moving on. So, appreciate it. It's been fun going back and forth. I hope you got what you wanted out of it. So, XRP right now, this dot cross, we're either going to retest up here, and if we do, XRP, and Jose, happy birthday to you, my friend. Happy birthday to you, and I'm going to like this cannabis. No, I know Janae. She's been around for... It is what it is. It is what it is. So, I'm going to like this, the cannabis. Happy birthday to you. If it's legal where you're at, please join us. I don't even know how many people are watching, and I don't care. I only care about the ones who are here to try to educate and try to learn. I don't try to get caught up in the amount of people viewing because I don't think it's important. Whether I have one person, that's enough. Because that means if I have one person here, they're at least getting what they came here for. Yeah, see, Janae, you already spoke the truth about what you know. So again, you've invalidated yourself with that last comment. So thank you for letting me know you're a troll today. If you knew anything about taxes, you know, I've very clearly showed my taxes at 2021 and 2020. I mean, come on now. You can't be that out of touch. So obviously you're just trying to troll me. So that's cool. So now that I know there's no more reason to continue with that conversation, because clearly you're trolling me now to say that there's no tax regulations yet. So, all right. So the uptrending support right now is the rising channel, and that's the truth. Oh, they can't tax it? That's funny. What's the capital gains tax then that's been in place since 2020? It got up to 35% under Biden. I guess that's just a figment of my imagination. CPA. Why would you need a CPA if you know what you're doing? I do my own. I live the baller's life, remember? I don't need somebody else to do my dirty work. I'm educated. So... So this uptrending support at the 45-cent mark, if that breaks, that is where, and yeah, if I had if I had somebody who was doing my taxes and didn't understand it to a finite level and didn't understand crypto, I tell my client not to pay taxes either because I'd get more of a bottom line. Don't you understand they make money off of you? The more they save, the more they make, but that doesn't mean you won't go to jail for it. It doesn't mean you won't pay restitution for it. So, if we do break the rising channel, and this is fun. This is fun. I like this. This makes me happy. See, I like the back and forth. Actually, he pays more taxes than you would ever imagine. So with XRP, if we do break the 2020 Oh, and plus, this is a good thing I can do. I'm going to set an example right now. Thank you very much for your conversation. I appreciate it. But once again, I told you we're not trying to ruin the vibe, and we don't speak politics. For that, I have to give you a warning. Thank you. Thank you for throwing me a bone. I appreciate it. So, as I was saying, and yes, you can get a CPA, I acknowledge, and they will tell you don't have to pay taxes for your crypto. That's their prerogative. It doesn't mean they're right. I'm just telling you what it says. If Peter Schiff is paying taxes for his crypto holdings, for what he had in the USA, if he had them, or if Peter Schiff pays taxes at all, or if these people like Robert Kiyosaki and everybody who owns crypto are still bitching and moaning, they have tax write-offs, but they're still putting in their 35% in the USA. If Mike Maloney and all these people don't go around trying to buy gold and silver, why would I do it? Like, I'm telling you, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but what I can tell you, if you have a CPA who's telling you don't got to do it, that doesn't make them smart. That just makes them a dope. And you found somebody who's going to go around the books. Who cares? Good job. Congratulations. Anybody, you too can break the rules and not pay your taxes. And even if they're unjust, Erwin Schiff, Peter Schiff's father, said the same thing. He spent the rest of his life in jail, political prisoner. He died in jail. So if you, I mean, I'm not going to be a political prisoner. I'm going to pay the government what they say. I'm not going to like it. And until there's a better system, we continue to do 3 things we always talk about to circumvent the government. What? 1, we pull our money out of the banks. Our money's not in the banks. One problem, we can't push it in for the small businesses because money can't be created twice. Unless it's a derivative of only $1 turns into 10 kind of thing when it's only on a piece of paper. So if we take the money out of the bank, that means the government, they're giving it back to them because the government's who bails it out. So you need to become your own central bank before it's too late. I've been doing it since circa 2017. So nobody can hurt me with what they say. I really don't care. I've been doing this for over 6.5 years now, and it made me a better person now. Now, instead of having to go to the bank, I have enough money to live in the bank so that I can pay my bills and whatever. But other than that, you know what I do. Any extra money, instead of putting it in a savings, goes into silver when it's over 80 to 1. Any extra money goes into precious metals with the gold and silver until it's too high. Like gold is off right now. It's been too high for a while. So silver at 80 to 1. I haven't bought it in a few months now just because of where I'm at personally. Actually, no, I bought it 2 months ago. But there's a rather large purchase coming here in the near future. So what I'm trying to teach you is not like every other station. You're not supposed to compare me to anybody else. Tell me one other crypto station that can tell you how to be your own central bank. I'll wait. So my point is what I'm trying to do here is to make you understand. Just like if you're buying into something, if it's already a rally and the rally's already started, don't buy back in. If you sold out, why would you buy the next token? If the rally's already started, chances are the token you're looking at is already pretty much done with its rally. And if you've got to 10% surplus, congratulations. But that'll probably cost you 30% of your holdings because of it. Because now you're going to have hopium. So it's all about how we do it. So I try to get you into the mindset, if I have profits and then I'm planning on buying in lower, like circa 2021, when we went from a bull market back into a bear market, we were able to buy precious metals. And I showed you all how we took $3,500, turned it into over $15,500. We're able to spend $10,000 on precious metals as it was going down over a couple years together, not even counting what I was normally buying every month. And then to have $5,000 on the side to continue to build our portfolio when the time was right. We had to sit there for over 1.5 years. It wasn't our fault it took so long, but we finally got the opportunity, and here we are, and we're happy about it. So, I mean, today's one of those days. Today's one of those days. You know why? Because the biggest comments I see right now are, I'm done with XRP. If XRP was so great, why is it going down? And what everybody still fails to realize is if it goes straight up and we don't finish this rotation, it's just going to come right back down and the run's over. You want the consolidation. Look, the biggest thing I can show you as far as evidence of why this isn't done forever, the weekly volume was surging. As it's come down, all this volume, if it was over, would have resold. So when somebody says, like Janae, and I know you're still watching, maybe come back here in a few minutes and add to the conversation. 453 million in the weekly. Follow me now. Now, that's coming in. Now, this is speculative volume because it went up and down. But this volume that was coming in, there was a big run on volume for a week. In fact, it was enough to rerun it back to 85. Now, look at all the volume that came out. Just on this one weekly candle is 450 million. So now you have a squeeze candle, but now on the way down I'm talking. 102. Now make that 229. 290. 330, 40. So right now, 376 million. We haven't even had enough sell volume to cover this first weekly candle. So if it's all the whales, why didn't we have why didn't we have more volume? If it's whales, there should be more than that coming out. If the whales are unloading, you should have far more than that. You wouldn't have, this to me reeks of retail selling every step of the way. Look at when you get down here. Like 63 million. Retail's dried up. This looks like retail. This isn't institutions. You're telling me institutions can only come up with 63 million over a week? That doesn't seem right to me. I think we could get retail selling that. That's what I'm saying, Jenny. I just said that. A lot of retail is selling. You and I. You're selling. You had 200,000. You're retail. You're not an institution. Unless you're not telling us something, you're still retail, even with 200,000 tokens. You're just like me with a lot more money invested. Yes, correct. But not everybody's buying back to accumulate more. That's false. You are in the minority. That was all I'm trying to say. You're not wrong because you're doing it. I'm saying the majority are not doing that. The majority will never buy XRP again when they just got shaken out. And let's be honest, the majority are not selling out and doing what you're doing because they're not paying the capital gains tax. It is what it is. Fine. Messiah, you are right about everything. And if that's what you need to get through your day, I feel very sorry for you. Because you obviously can only get by if somebody tells you what you want to hear. So congratulations for re-entering this work. But everybody, real quickly, I want to see in the chat, say happy birthday to Jose. Janae, I haven't even seen you say happy birthday to him. I want to see a happy birthday out of you. Since you got a lot to say, use that for positive. Say happy birthday to Jose. And because Jose likes it, and you're supposed to be positivity, remember. And that comes in many forms. That also comes with knowing when to let the group move on. I tried to give you a few minutes to cool off, and the very first thing you came back with was what? The same old yesteryear news. Like I talk about the victim news. We don't care about the victim news. That's just the way it goes. You can have whatever reality you want in your own head, but I'm telling you from a non-emotional and non-biased position what's happening. That's retail selling, the majority. Because businesses are looking for opportunity. The opportunity hasn't been met yet. The tax burden would be great right now if they would have sold. Your tax bill is going to be enormous. And then if you keep doing it, you're going to compound your tax bill. But your CPA, after all, doesn't make you pay taxes, so how would you know? So you're missing half the battle here. You don't even know. You have no idea. We're talking to somebody who doesn't pay the taxes, so, take that for what it's worth, because your CPA is smarter than the rest of us. So, what do you want me to say? You wouldn't know. You will. They didn't hire 150, or 50-something thousand agents for no reason. They're coming after people like you who have a lot of money. 200,000 tokens, that's a lot more than my 10,000. That's a lot more reasons to have somebody check out. But happy birthday, Jose. I'm just speaking reality. Sunny days. David, absolutely, it's what I use.
Sunny days, here again. Sunny days, here again. I wear glasses 'cause I'm so cool. I can predict the charts. Sunny days, here again. Sunny days, here again. Sunny days, here again. Sunny days. Join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month.
So some of you that are new probably don't know where that comes from. So because it's Jose's birthday and he loves when I do it live, it sounds just a little bit different than that. But somebody from the audience, I kid you not, that's me. They put me into a music. They put me in with some background music, and I think it sounds phenomenal. And I've only sang it a couple times in the clean version. You're going to hear the not so clean version. It's only one swear word, though, so. But I'm going to do this for Jose. We used to do this back in the day more, when we only had about 500 to 1,000 people, all the way up to, well, we have 18,500 almost now. This is a good way to get the positivity back, and anybody who doesn't want to be here now will leave. So we used to do this when everybody was doomy and gloomy. So at a time like this, maybe, when some are off and some are on and whatever, you don't gotta tell me XRP Moonswalker. So ladies and gentlemen, the sun, sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, and Kenny's here. How perfect is this? Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we have and we won't and we will and we don't know because we won't know and we will and we won't and we will. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. You know what, everybody? It makes it so much better. I can't imagine there's that many people left here. I stand corrected. There's 99 people here. What do I know? And 98 likes. Look at all of us. So, Donald, so that first one, Donald, did you hear, while Miss Vicky, I'm still here, he just doesn't let me come out, this over entitled, you know what, Bob, I didn't ask you to come out here. There's 100 people here. We're trying to grow here. Kenny, I appreciate that. That song gives Kenny nightmares, and I think both ways I do. But right when I seen your voice, I almost lost. Right when I seen your comment, I almost lost it. Because I literally have not sang that on a live in a couple weeks. And, oh, no. Matt, you have to watch this from the beginning. I started like this from the beginning. I came in hot. In a good way. Hot in a good way. I was being straightforward. So nobody did this to me. This is me. So, Donald, somebody actually turned that into a song. Hopefully you're able to hear it. But I didn't even come in hot. I just came in matter of fact. Well, Tom, I wish I could come back more often. You will. You will. When I can actually figure out how to animate, Bob. You know what, everybody? Can I tell you what I really want to do? And one day when I'm famous, when I can add a 0 to my followers. Right now we have 18,000, but it's going to take a little more of a budget here, everybody. Or I'm going to need at least, 1% of my audience to join Tom's Army. I know, well, actually, we have 1%. What am I talking about? 10% of my audience. No, even 5%. If 5% of you who watch join Tom's Army, I would be able to do what I want. I want to make an animated. So when I do these lives for an hour, and I'm not talking about the updates, when I do the lives, I want somebody to animate it. So they're animating what I'm doing. So if anybody's ever seen the Ricky Gervais show, that's what I want this to look like. But I don't have the budget to do it. But I might if 5% of you join Tom's Army. And if I did that, this would be the greatest show of all times. Could you imagine? Could you just imagine watching this animated? It would be so awesome. And they could perceive me however they wanted. You know, you would see me, what I really look like in animated form. And then we could get the characters from the audience, you know, and I could actually get your pictures, or I could share what I see on YouTube, and then that would be you as you talk. It would be so freaking funny. Could you imagine Bob comes on, well, Tom, why do you got to make fun of me with this? No, Bob, it's just something. Well, Tom, you know, I wouldn't mind having a spotlight here. Would I get paid? You know, Bob, you always are about the almighty dollar. That's how you found this channel. But anyhow, that's what I mean. I think that would be so funny. I think it would be so awesome. But then the audience would feel like they're more involved. I have such an idea. It's just the marketing budget isn't there. But I refuse to take the paid promotion money and all that. And I could get there pretty quickly. I just don't want to go down that road. That's just not me. I'm just not going to do it. It feels cheap. Feels cheap. Feels like I'm selling my soul. Oh, Lewis, could you imagine? Oh, I could do the Lewis lines animated. You could just see me getting madder and madder to where I come through the line and I literally drag Lewis out from the crowd and I show him, boy, Lewis, you can't get between the lines, Lewis. Don't you realize the channel support, Lewis, and resist? Oh my God, I remember those days. Oh, I'm glad I found my yen, or my zen, I should say. I'm glad I found my zen. But, oh man. I appreciate that, Kenny. Yes, Ricky, Steven, and Carl. And if you haven't watched it, Carl is the one. Oh, I thank you for saying the names. Carl is the one that they're following this guy's life when he talks. It's so funny. Oh, one day, Kenny. I mean, one day, Donald. I remember when that took place with. So do I. And then remember, it wasn't right after that. Do you remember what happened? Like 2 days later, as if that wasn't funny enough, we found third Lewis. Remember, we had a second Lewis. Remember, we had the Lewis with the Lewis lines. And this is always fun to reminisce. We haven't reminisced in a while about this. We had the Lewis with the Lewis lines, who said that I did the best technical analysis he's ever seen. But the price action went between my support and resistance lines, and it got into one of the most epic things. And then we had two Lewises. We had good Lewis, and then we had, you know, Lewis. Everybody loves Lewis. Lewis, we love. But that was a third Lewis, believe it or not. But the second Lewis, that was the one who gave the biggest donation of the show at the time. And then we had a third Lewis who took offense to me not getting mad at the first Lewis because his name too was Lewis. But this particular Lewis was special in his own right. You know why? His name on here didn't even say Lewis. So that's what made it the funniest. So then we had to start going, Lewis, we love you. We all love you, Lewis. We love you long time. In fact, we do this because it's Jose's birthday today. And Jose's been around for a long time. And most of you know we're getting towards the end of the stream, so I mean, I can say whatever I want now. I didn't think 90 people were here listening to this, though. Oh, Darren, yes, you do. Oh, God. You guys missed so much. I was a much angrier person back then. Much angrier. Not that, but I would use, I was much different show back then. Much different. Anyhow, to finish this off here, so I gotta make sure everything's going good in the house. But to finish this off here, now that everybody's left, or we've had a few unsubscribers, probably, I don't know. To finish this out, if we break the rising channel support at any time at 45 cents, we're coming down to 38 cents. And that's the 2020 uptrend. Now, with the way the weekly volume is, if we can come down there in a straight kind of fashion here off this death cross in the daily, it would support a bounce off of there in some fashion. Even if worst case scenario, you could get a bounce off of here and a retest here. It's going to have to be a 30% bounce of sorts, unless we come right through it. So, and then before I leave real quick, hey, that's because I'm humble. I'm not selling myself short at all. I'm just humble. If I get 5 people that want to watch, I feel good. If I get 50, I'm like, holy smokes. If I get 100, one time I got 320 and I was still the same way. You know, I'm just a humble person. So if one person is taking time out of their day, I'm like, whoa. And then when it gets to 100, you're like, wow, 100 people. Like, just like when I started, 500 people and then 1,000. Now, you know, 1,000 people standing in front of my house is great. But now if I put 18,500 people in front of my house, it's like, holy crap, we are forming an army. You know, we are forming something special. And it's one of those things. I'm just a humble person. I've seen things from a lot of different sides in my life, that's all. Mostly from the poor side. So, you know, I can relate very nicely. But with XDC, we're in a bad spot right now. XDC's got to come down to the 200-day and the daily. If we reverse this, which it looks like we're going to, that doesn't mean you can't have a reversal up here to 5.5 or maybe a retest of 5.7. And maybe from down here up here, you could have a 10 or 12% run one day. But it means we've got to come back down here, and the uptrend supports that move. And if we filled this pattern out all the way, it would meet somewhere across. You just have to come across the pattern, but I'm just showing the uptrend. But that's where it looks like we're trending towards the 4 or 5 area. And with the events that come here with crypto, I wouldn't be surprised. H-bar's up 6.5%. H-bar's in a rather interesting position because it's technically not giving back this inverted head and shoulders pattern yet. So H-bar is in an interesting spot. Put in a nice W reversal, a nice bullish Gartley, it looks like there. Now its job is to come up over this 5.75 and try to hold it. That's our first layer of resistance right now. We've got to get over that. And then if we can get back over that, then we got to come back up to the channel. So right now, if H-bar could get a little bit of steam, it might have a rally. But with what's coming down the pipeline, a lot of this seems like false bravado. Not that I don't want H-bar to do good. It's just, with FTX putting all this stuff back into the market, we could have a nice little bounce down here real quick. But like they always say, when the news looks bad, that's where usually it turns the other way. I just feel like XRP might have a little bit more to go. Bitcoin looks like it's got to put in a lower low. Bitcoin doesn't look done yet. It looks like it's just trying to get a confirmation here. I think Bitcoin's trying to come down here to roughly probably the 23,500 area somewhere. It technically could stop down here at 24.7, but it does look like it wants to come down a little bit farther on that bear flag. So, sing some subline. I am not a singer. But yeah, guys, I'm all talked out. That is what I got tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you appreciate what I do, I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this so other people can see this. If you appreciate my work and want to go above and beyond because you like the fact that you don't have to watch paid promotions, you like the fact that I'm not sponsoring some bullshit, you like the fact that I'm not doing paid advertisements for somebody, and you want to show a little extra support for the fact that I'm here every day, no matter what. Doom or gloom, rain or shine, night or day, Tom is here. You join Tom's Army. Or you can send a YouTube super chat, but Tom's Army is a better version. But if you're looking to trade your favorite crypto, look in the video description below. There's FEMX for us in the USA still if you want a futures trade or you want to look for the lowest spot maker fee. But I like Uphold the best overall. Somebody asked. And then there's MEXC as well if you can still use it. That's all in the video description below. I'm not affiliated, so you got to do the work yourself. It just become a lot more apparent to me that it's a lot easier just to have it all down there. So everything you can find is down there. Basically, other than that, I appreciate everybody who's here. I appreciate Jose for joining us on his birthday. I do. I appreciate everybody who's challenged me, and everybody who stuck around through the thick and thin, because I'm telling you, this is only the beginning. It's only the beginning. I think some of you are going to be very surprised where we go by 2028. That's my end game. Not saying we're going to be done by then, but the end game for where my vision is 2028. So we're very early, everybody, and you're all